So as I'm trying to use up what I have grown in my garden, we are going to be having some Greek chicken pitas tonight, and I'm going to be making some homemade tzatziki sauce with one of my homegrown cucumbers here. I do not have Greek yogurt. What I have on hand currently is just some plain goat yogurt, and I'm just making a small portion. For this meal. So I'm going to be using about a cup of this yogurt. I'm going to scrape it right off the top so that I'm not getting much of the moisture. I'm not like mixing it. I don't want moisture in this yogurt. I want it to be really creamy, and I'm guessing on my cup measurement. So I could be a little off, but that's okay. It's just for us. So I'm going to say that's about a cup. And like I said, you want this to be thick, so it's more like a dip. So then I'm going to, this is one of my, I believe this is maybe a straight 8 cucumber. I'm going to peel it, de-seed it, and then I'm actually going to grate the cucumber into a different bowl so that I can squeeze out the liquid for the same purpose. So I'm just going to, like I said, peel it. And I'll just give these peels to my chickens. And I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to spoon out these seeds. And then I'm actually going to put these into a cup and show you guys how to save seeds. So I just scooped these all out. And all those seeds and pulp and juice just went into that cup. And I'll show you what to do with these in order to save these. But moving along with our recipe, I am going to grate this cucumber. And I went with like a fairly large grate on these. I could have gone smaller, but I'm not that picky. And now I'm going to take some paper towels. And you can see here I've got the grated cucumber. And then you can also see that I have juice in the bottom here. And what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to salt this cucumber. Sprinkle some salt on. I'm going to mix it up. And that is just going to help draw out moisture, more moisture. And I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes. And have that just draw out as much moisture as it can. So just going to sit there and draw out moisture, and then I'm going to wring it out on this paper towel. And just as a side note here, while I'm waiting for the cucumbers to get all that liquid out, you can kind of see that there's some liquid pooling here in my yogurt. You can actually, if you have just plain yogurt, you know, real liquidy yogurt, you can actually strain your yogurt. Put like a sieve and cheesecloth, like line the cheesecloth, line the sieve with the cheesecloth and put your yogurt right on top of it and tighten it up and put it in your refrigerator, you know, up to overnight, and the liquid that's in the yogurt will all drain out, and then you'll be left with just the nice thick yogurt. So while we're sitting here waiting, this is also collecting here, and I'll just pour this extra liquid off at the end of this 10 minutes before I add this into the yogurt. So you can use whatever yogurt you have on hand. You can always figure out a way to make it work. In the meantime, I'm going to be chopping up, or I'm going to be mincing some cloves of garlic. And this is garlic that I grew as well. And I just crush my garlic with the skin on, and that way I can just easily peel it off. I'm going to be chopping it up anyway, so I don't care that it got crushed. There we go. And then I'm just gonna slice these up and then chop them down. And I really like garlic. So the recipe called for 1 clove of garlic. I'm obviously doubling that. It's all based on your own flavors and preferences. Recipes are more guidelines. Anyway. So as you can see here, there's quite a bit more water and liquid that is in here. So I'm gonna pour some off into my sink so I don't make a big mess on my counter. And then I'll pour the rest into this paper towel. So there's still quite a bit of liquid in here, but I just didn't want to pour that all over my counter. And then I'll just wrap this up like a little present. And this thing is already soaked, but you can just see how much liquid is going to be coming out of here. So we want the cucumber flavor, but we don't want all that juice. Of course, inevitably, it's going to break. We don't want all that liquid in our tzatziki sauce. So we're just trying to get as much out as we can, within reason. That's probably okay. But you can see just how much, there's probably half a cup of liquid in there. So then, like I mentioned, there was extra fluid in here that I already poured off. And if I had planned ahead or, you know, wasn't so impatient, I could have strained this and gotten even more out, but I'm happy with the consistency that we're at currently. So I'm going to take this cucumber that I just strained out. And so this is only using one cucumber from my many. So it's definitely not something that's gonna take care of all your harvest. But it's something different to make. It's not cucumber salad. It's not just eating fresh sliced cucumbers. And I'm using mostly homegrown ingredients. So, and it's a nice, fresh summer meal that we have. So to the cucumber and the yogurt, I'm going to put in the garlic that I minced. And a little splash of lemon juice. I know this seems kind of counterintuitive because we just took out that liquid, but I'm just going to do a little splash of lemon juice for flavor. And then I'll mix this up. And our cucumber is already salted. So I'll give it a taste and see if it needs more salt. And I still need to add pepper and some other herbs. But we are basically finished. So I think it's good on the salt. I am going to add a little bit of pepper, black pepper. And then I'm actually going to chop up some fresh mint to add in. You can also use parsley and of course dill, but I'm using what little dill I have left to pickle. Some cucumbers. So I thought the mint would be a nice fresh flavor to add. To this dish. And some people do dill and mint. And this is mint that I grew. So we'll just add that. And then too, if you wanted to, you could add some cayenne pepper to this. If you wanted to kick up the flavor a little bit. But I'm going to be serving this to our boys, so I don't want to be putting a bunch of hot things in there. And fresh garlic is already kind of spicy, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah, that tastes delicious. And that'll be perfect on our pitas. And just one more way to use ingredients that I grew in our backyard. So I'm going to put plastic wrap over the top of this and stick this in our refrigerator just so that the flavors can meld for a couple of hours until we're ready to eat it for dinner. So what I have in here is chicken breast, lemon juice. It calls for Greek yogurt, but like I said, I didn't have any of that, so I just used that same sheep's yogurt that I had. Some red wine vinegar. I chopped some red onion, some garlic, oregano, thyme, coriander, salt and pepper, and it's just been marinating. It said up to 4 to 6 hours or something like that, and then let it sit out for a half hour before you're ready to grill it. So I'm gonna go brush the grill grates with olive oil and grill these up and make up our dinner of some Greek chicken gyros with homemade tzatziki sauce. So I have the pita all made up. I have the chicken sliced, some Market More cucumbers, some brandywine tomatoes, some red onion, and then I topped it with the tzatziki sauce. And it looks so fresh and delicious. Thank you guys for stopping by today and joining in on our journey here at Bare Bones Living. We'll catch you on the next one.